tomorrow.
Let's go at night. Sailor's delight. Probably should clean your windscreen, pal. And I've just thrown up. Just some apple there, some apple there, some apple there. I feel better now. Sailing, hey? Our journey begins at the Cruising Yacht Club of South Australia. We're travelling from North Haven in the west of Adelaide to Port Vincent on the Yorke Peninsula, roughly 30 nautical miles away. It's a typical weekend trip for many, but Tyler and I have never done it before. The sun is shining, but the weather is anything but sweet.
She's day one out on the water. I don't know if you can see that. Pretty confused sort of sea state, so we're roly-polying around. You can see Danielle's a little bit crook. We've got a cargo ship and another yacht out on our port bow, out of port beam. So we're currently doing about 6 knots through the water, 6 knots speed over ground, while we're motor sailing. So we're just trying to get across. As you can see, heady only. Main part didn't make it, so that's all we got. That's what we're doing.
After so much planning, it was so nice to be out in the water, but the rolling and poling all afternoon and the smell of diesel in the air because we had to motor made for some pretty uncomfortable sailing conditions.
Yeah, we're gusting up to 30 knots, which is we've been out here before, and the swell, she's just confused. It's all over the place. And it's only a metre swell, but it's, yeah, it's mucky.
You don't get a sense of it, do you?
No.
On the camera?
No. But yeah, so we'll round the south spit on our way into Port Vincent, and hopefully that will protect us from a few of these waves and calm it down a little bit. Yeah, that's where we're at.
So right, where are we at with you having those workers' sunglasses around your neck? Are we at the point where you're going to get rid of them and put on better ones, or are you going to have this be a feature of our trip now, or?
Just a handy bit of kit. Handy bit of kit.
Yeah?
Yeah. They wrap around, they can get damaged, it doesn't matter.
Handy and ugly seem to be synonymous. Let's hope that that does not persist, just like this swell. I was feeling better, so I went below to use the loo for the first time today, like 4.5 hours into the sail. Oh, and I threw up again into the sink.
Very, very, very cold. This poor boy.
He hasn't moved from that spot. He's keeping an eye on everything. And looking good while he does it.
Always.
Look at that jumper. Can you zoom in?
We'll zoom in afterwards.
Afterwards. Oh, sure. He never stops stopping. He starts the boat. He's going to teach me how to edit the things. If he could control the seas, like Neptune, or is it Poseidon? Sure. That'd be great. See how these cashews go. Cut to me throwing up. Soon enough, and without another incident of esophageal cleansing on my behalf, we were coming into the Port Vincent Marina. It can be a little bit nervousy coming into a marina for the first time that you don't have experience in. We did a pretty good job overall, but we scratched the side of the boat a little bit. Nothing we can't buff out. Proud as punch, we stopped for some lunch. Here are the sandwiches I made this morning that I thought that we would eat while we were under sail. Ha ha, ha ha, ha. Good? What are you doing, mate?
Just filling in the log for day one of our big adventure.
What's the crack? I can't read your chicken scroll handwriting.
Chicken scroll, just talking about stuff, about to put in info about our docking, just some notes that I can read back on later down the track.
What's the big note that you've made?
The notes will be just reminding myself again to listen to the wind, really. Yeah, I knew that the wind was going to push us hard against the thing, but I came in too sharp and then caused a bit of damage to the hull. Nothing major, just a little scratch, but I'm better than that, so yeah, no for next time.
Always next time.
Always next time.
We're gonna get some dinks. What are our stats?
So we did 30 miles today, over 5.5 hours, so like averaging about 5.5 knots for the course of the trip. Yeah. What else do you want to know?
What's your favourite colour?
Green, probably.
What's your favourite feature of mine? There it is. There is the smile. First day done.
First day done.
It was a relief to be in. We had a little nap and then we got to work unpacking all the stores and the mess that we hadn't before we left, and then took a little walk around town to stretch our legs and get some fresh air before we settled in for the night. It's dinner time. I am going to be cooking what we call in our house easy pasta, which is just onion tomato sauce with basil. It does not sound very exciting, but it's delicious. I had this whole plan that I was going to be using my nonna's, so my best mate's nonna, who I call my nonna, passata as our, I don't know, inaugural dinner on the boat, and that plan has gone askew as so many's today. So this cracked open as we are unpacking all of our stores, so I'll just use my regular mutti. How do the influencers do it to stop the sheen? One of these. All right, let's do it. Heat a large frying pan over high heat, add a heap of olive oil so that the base is covered, and then add your chopped onions. I like to let these really cook down and add some salt halfway through to get all the sweetness out. Add your chopped tomatoes and let those cook off. The wine is for myself, not for the recipe. Add in your passata and let that sit for a little while before you add some sugar, some pepper, and some chili. That's pretty much it, except for some fresh basil leaves, and then just mix and let it sit and stir for a while. Add the pasta onto the boil, and then when it's nearly al dente, you want to put that into the heated up passata mix and mix it all together. The pasta water will help emulsify the mix, and just keep mixing and mixing until the pasta is finished cooking and lots of the sauce has cooked into the spaghetti. And then serve. What'd you just say? I missed it.
Delicious as always.
Delicioso.
Delicioso.
Jesus Christ. Now that sauce is just combined with the pasta. Mwah! Weary little traveller. First day got you good.
Got me good.
Lunch tomorrow. Hello, good morning. Day 2. We're in Port Vincent. I just made a little smoothie. Captain Woodsy is
Downloading weather. Just seeing how we're going.
I was going to say drinking a cup of
I'm
coffee.
drinking a cup of coffee, yeah.
Sure. What's the plan today, mate?
We'll head down the coast, about 25 mile sail, and pull up in Edithburg. And yeah, throw out, hook onto a buoy, hopefully.
A mooring buoy is showing up.
Yeah.
So is that purple dot where we are or where we're headed?
That's where we are.
That's where we are.
That's the weather.
You're right. So it's blue, which means light. But I haven't been outside yet. It sounds gusty. Oh no, it's much nicer. Bit of wind. Ooh. Sunrise over the sea. Weird. Hopefully today is an easier sail. Yesterday was pretty rough on the both of us, just in terms of leaving really quickly, and then having to motor, and I was obviously sick, which is unlike me, so everyone was a bit rattled. It was a good night last night though. It's breakfast. Pack up. We'll get out of here. Day 2. Edithburg is located 25 nautical miles south of Port Vincent, still on the Yorke Peninsula. We're going to be staying in an anchorage and tying off to a mooring ball, again something that we've never done before. The sea and wind were predicted to be roly-poly again today, so we relented and took some quells, which made for a much more pleasant sail. What's our plan for today?
Plan for today, we're going to head down the coast. We called in to Sea Rescue just to let them know what we're doing. First time I've done that. Radio competent. Used to run comms crews in the mines, but didn't use the comms myself, so no, it's good. It's good. All logged in, so we're heading down to Edithburg. There's a couple of mooring balls down there from our club, so we'll make use of those while we're still members for the next 10 days. Yeah, and we'll spend the night there. And it should calm down overnight as well. So a rough start, but then by about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, she should calm right down. And be a nice day. This is our sail. Ooh. Ooh. And that's where we are, right at the start. Heading around that spit so we don't run aground. Can only afford one of those a week.
Why do they have spits here?
I think it. Why do they have spits here?
So what? Oh no, spit is a natural landform, yeah?
Yeah.
So what's a spit?
So spit's just a it's a underwater section of land. It's essentially like a sandbar, but it comes out from land. And it's partially submerged, so it's a real trap for young bucks. When we went to KI early last year, I thought that we'd got past the markers that we needed to get past, but it turns out that there was another marker. Me in my infancy of sailing, I thought the chart was wrong, and I thought I was right for some reason.
Oh.
And then very last minute I saw the last marker, and we veered to port heavily and avoided running aground. So that was a near miss moment for me. But we should try and not do that again. So we're going to round the spit, and then there's some shallow grounds that run through, but they're not super shallow. I think they're like you're looking at 4.5 meters, so that should be plenty. With the tide is dropping at the minute, but it's not going to go below 0 meters, so more than enough room under the keel to get through there. And then yeah, so we round this spit just here, and then we just punch it south basically with a southeasterly breeze, so we'll be on a close haul for most of the way down, and hopefully the seas don't pick up too much. Hopefully we are behind a spit right now, but hopefully it's a bit like this the whole way.
I only had an apple yesterday and it made some muck, so I've had a really intense green smoothie. So if I'm sick today, it's going to be a scenario.
Sea Rescue Adelaide, Sea Rescue Adelaide, Sea Rescue Adelaide. This is Jenny Anna, Jenny Anna, Jenny Anna. Over.
Receiving you, Jenny Anna. Will you go ahead with your message, please? Thank you.
We logged our journey earlier today, just to let you know that we've got into Edithburgh safe and sound and all tied off.
Yeah, received that, Jenny Anna. You're into Edithburgh, all tied up, safe and sound. Received, over.
What?
Your little peekaboo face.
Woo! Yeah, we're running the water maker. And by the looks of it, knock on wood, there's no leaks.
It lives under our bed.
For all my Sparky mates out there,
Your hair
That
is
is-
crazy.
that is self-amalgamating tape, that's not just tape. So, see that meter there?
This one,
No, this one here. That should read 150 or lower.
it's 134.
So this tells you how much is getting produced per hour. So litres per hour, we're producing about 90 litres per hour, which blows people's minds.
And what's this little tab?
So this is the test function. Make sure that all the meters are working. We'll use the human taste test.
So you're the guinea pig.
You're the guinea pig.
Me! That we call chicken rice. Chicken rice is a one-pot wonder, so make sure you get a large fry pan or saucepan that will fit in your oven later. Add chopped carrot and onion to the heated olive oil, add salt and cook until soft. Add chicken thigh and let that brown. Add some chopped button mushrooms. There seems to be a lot there, but they'll cook down and emit a lot of good moisture, which will help cook the rice later. On the boat, it's really windy and there's lots of air coming through the window, so I'm covering the pot here where normally I just let it cook away at home. The mushrooms have reduced and it's ready to add some rice. I add 1 cup of rice for 2 cups of liquid. So 1 cup of jasmine rice here, and I'll add 2 cups of chicken stock shortly. When you've added your stock, cover it and let it come to a gentle simmer, and then it's ready to cover with alfoil and put into the oven. I always put 2 sheets of alfoil on top because it just makes it really secure and makes sure that none of that liquid and steam is going to escape, because that is what's going to cook the rice and make it really soft and delicious. I leave it in the oven for about 20 minutes, taking out to stir halfway between, and when it comes out, it is delicious chicken rice, ready to eat. Alright, 2, bit of garnish. Just squeeze a lemon. We don't need that anymore.
Bit of citrus, keep the scurvy away.
Chicken rice.
Chicken rice.
Oh, so nice.
That's it.
All right. It'd been a big couple of days, so we were enjoying taking in a nice sunset and tidying up before having an early night. You're a good sort.
Every now and then, I have my moments.
Are you feeling charismatic?
Always.
Can you just fucking, like, put a fingers through your hair after a shower?
I didn't think I was going to be on camera.
It's our lives now. Alright, shush. Stop pulling faces. It's probably time that we introduce ourselves.
Absolutely.
And explain what it is that we're doing out here. Because so far it's been 2 days of faffing around with a single head sail.
Yeah. Just a head sail.
Right, I'm Danielle.
I'm Tyler.
And we're sitting on Jenniana. And we are in Edithburgh at the moment. So far you would have seen the footage of me being sick, starting our whole trip being sick. Basically we've left Adelaide with the plans to get as far as we can in a year. Tyler's quit his job.
Yep.
I've taken a year leave without pay. And then I might take another if this isn't awful. We'll see how far we can get with the savings that we have and whether we enjoy it or not.
And document it as we go.
Yeah. Yesterday was a pretty rough day. We packed up, we were still at the house, so we'd like bought provisions, dropped them off, didn't even unpack anything, shoved what was cold in the fridge and went home to finish packing up the house. So we were at that till 10, 11 at night and up at 6 the next morning, packed the car with our mattress, the triangle berth mattress that we've been sleeping on for the last week.
The V-berth,
The V-berth, and got down here, unpacked that, didn't even have time to unpack the provisions and just kind of set off, and it was just a bit of a nightmare from the get-go. Yeah.
I put my head down, stopped focusing on what I was doing, and found the very edge of the marina, which is never fun. Some quick reversing got us out of it with not too much hassle, but it was just a pretty rank day. We had wind on our beam, and then we also had the waves on our beam, and because we only had the head sail as well, it was pushing our bow around every time. It was pushing our bow around a lot, so we just ended up motoring a lot of the way. Again today, we were direct into the wind, so we were motoring a lot of the way today.
So we've only got the head sail because we spent the last 6 months, nearly a year, 9 months, doing up this boat, doing refurbs and getting it kitted out with all this fancy stuff that we'll talk about on a different time, different episode. And we got the rigging redone.
Yeah.
And then we set sail on Boxing Day. That was when everything was finished, and we set sail on Boxing Day. And I was hoisting the main up in the marina, which is a new trick that you'd learn on your yacht master's course, to do it in the marina. And the pulley thing for the mainsail just dinked off. Yeah. And so we've been waiting for that part for 2 weeks, and it got in on Monday, and we're like, yep, we're leaving on Friday, so we already had to push the departure back a week.
Yep.
And the part came in, but the fellow had ordered the wrong part.
Yes.
So this is the start of our trip. Tomorrow we're going to go to West Cape.
Yep. And we'll anchor down there for a couple of days.
Yep, for waiting for some crazy wind to pass. And then we'll go up to Port Lincoln, and then the part should be in, and hopefully. And we should have our mainsail. We'll go up to Streaky Bay and then cut across the Bight, if West Australia will let us in as well. So that's another roadblock. So we're just waiting for WA to let us in, and we will cut across the Bight, hopefully.
Yeah.
For the mainsail.
Yeah, mainsail required on that crossing for sure. It's going pretty well so far.
One bad day, one good day?
One bad, 50-50.
We'll see how tomorrow goes. We've got a 10-hour sail, a motor sail.
Yeah, mostly motor.
With a head out. So, but I'm getting some practice in the galley.
Yeah.
Cooking up a storm.
Cooking up an absolute storm.
Don't say storm when you're on a boat.
Is that true?
I've just made that up.
Okay.
Alright. That's us. That's our plan. Thank you so much for watching. Click the thumb, give us a subscribe, say some nice things, share it with your mates, and we'll see you next time on Never Not Sailing.